In the annals of American criminal history, few names evoke a chill quite like the Zodiac Killer. His reign of terror in Northern California during the late 1960s and early 1970s wasn't just a series of brutal murders, it was a psychological assault on a nation. For over 5 decades, his identity has eluded authorities, cementing his place as one of America's most terrifying unsolved mysteries. The year was 1968. California, particularly the San Francisco Bay Area, represented a dream of freedom and innovation. Yet, beneath this veneer of progress and peace, a sinister shadow was beginning to form. A predator was preparing to strike, turning picturesque landscapes into scenes of horror and idyllic romance into unimaginable terror. This was not just a killer, but a phantom. On the night of December 20, 1968, the Zodiac Killer's brutal spree began. On a secluded stretch of Lake Herman Road in Benicia, teenagers David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were on their first date. They were parked in Faraday's car when an unknown assailant approached, opening fire. Their lives, and the innocence of Northern California, were brutally extinguished. The attack was swift and merciless. Betty Lou Jensen was found shot 5 times in the back, attempting to flee. David Faraday was shot once in the head. This act of cold-blooded violence shocked the local community, but the true scope of the terror to come remained unimaginable. The killer left no clear motive, no witness, only death. Just 7 months later, on July 4, 1969, the killer struck again, revealing a horrifying pattern. Darlene Ferrin and Mike Mageau were parked at the Blue Rock Springs golf course in Vallejo. An individual in another car pulled up, got out, and opened fire. Darlene Ferrin died, but Mike Mageau, despite being shot, miraculously survived. Crucially, after the Blue Rock Springs attack, a chilling phone call was made to the Vallejo Police Department. The caller, claiming responsibility for both the Lake Herman Road and Blue Rock Springs murders, delivered a cold, methodical confession. This was not just a killer, this was someone who wanted to be heard, to be feared. The very next month, in August 1969, Northern California's major newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, each received identical letters. The author boasted of the murders, provided details only the killer would know, and demanded publication, threatening more deaths if his demands were not met. Within these letters lay a chilling introduction. The author declared, "This is the Zodiac speaking." Along with the taunting words, a complex 408-symbol cipher was included, promising to reveal the killer's identity if decoded. The mystery had a name, and a new, terrifying game had begun, captivating and horrifying the entire country. The 408-symbol cipher was quickly published, challenging cryptographers and amateur sleuths alike. Within days, a schoolteacher, Donald Hardin, and his wife, Betty, deciphered the message. It did not reveal the killer's name, but instead a rambling, ego-driven confession, stating his desire to collect slaves for the afterlife. The decoded message confirmed the grim reality: the Zodiac sought his victims not as individuals, but as possessions for an afterlife. This wasn't about revenge or passion, it was a detached, almost bureaucratic approach to murder, making him even more terrifying. He was a hunter, and California was his hunting ground. On September 27, 1969, the Zodiac escalated his theatricality at Lake Berryessa. Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell were enjoying a picnic when a man approached them, wearing a black executioner-style hood with the Zodiac crosshairs symbol on it. What followed was a planned, brutal assault unlike any before. The Zodiac tied up his victims, then repeatedly stabbed them. Cecilia Shepard died from her injuries 2 days later. Brian Hartnell, miraculously, survived. Before leaving, the killer used a black felt-tip pen to write a message on Hartnell's car door, the date, the number of victims, and his infamous crosshairs symbol. He was making a statement. Just minutes after the Lake Berryessa attack, a phone call was made from a payphone to the Napa County Sheriff's Office. The caller, identifying himself as the killer, reported the incident and the location. This direct, audacious communication with law enforcement solidified the Zodiac's pattern of taunting, escalating the terror. The Zodiac's next confirmed victim shattered the perception that he only targeted secluded lovers. On October 11, 1969, taxi driver Paul Stine was murdered in the Presidio Heights neighborhood of San Francisco. This audacious act brought the killer's reign of terror directly into a bustling urban center, heightening public fear exponentially. Crucially, the Paul Stine murder had eyewitnesses. 3 teenagers saw the killer near the taxicab. Their descriptions led to a composite sketch of the Zodiac, a face that would become synonymous with dread. However, a police dispatcher error meant officers were initially looking for a black suspect, allowing the killer to slip away. To prove his involvement in the Paul Stine murder, the Zodiac sent a piece of Paul Stine's bloodstained shirt to the San Francisco Chronicle. This physical evidence, direct from the crime scene, was undeniable. It was a further demonstration of his audacity, his control, and his desire to mock the authorities publicly. Despite multiple confirmed murders, eyewitness accounts, and physical evidence, the police investigation struggled. Jurisdiction issues, lack of interagency coordination, and the sheer elusiveness of the killer hampered efforts. Law enforcement was facing a new kind of criminal, one who thrived on chaos and public attention, a terrifying enigma. The Zodiac killer skillfully weaponized the media. His letters, published extensively, spread his terror far beyond the Bay Area, turning him into a national sensation. Newspapers became his personal billboard, amplifying his threats and ciphers, inadvertently aiding his psychological warfare against the public and police alike. In November 1969, the Zodiac sent another, even more complex cipher, the 340-symbol cipher. This one would remain unsolved for over 50 years, a testament to its intricate design and the killer's cunning. It was another challenge, another taunt, cementing his status as a puzzle for the ages. Throughout his correspondence, the Zodiac often boasted of having killed far more victims than authorities confirmed. While police attributed 5 confirmed murders to him, the killer himself claimed to have murdered as many as 37 people. This inflated body count only served to deepen the fear and uncertainty surrounding his true capabilities. As the Zodiac's letters continued, fear spread across Northern California like wildfire. Young couples avoided secluded spots. Parents worried about their children. The innocent act of dating became fraught with peril. The killer had successfully hijacked the public's sense of safety and replaced it with pervasive dread, forever altering the region's psyche. One of the most baffling aspects of the Zodiac case was the lack of a clear criminal profile. He didn't fit neatly into typical categories. He attacked diverse victims, in varying locations, and used different methods. His motives seemed abstract, his methods evolving. He was a chameleon of terror, making him incredibly difficult to track. After 1969, the confirmed attacks stopped. While sporadic letters continued into the early 1970s, the physical presence of the Zodiac seemed to vanish. Where did he go? Did he die? Was he incarcerated for another crime, or did he simply cease his activities? The sudden silence became as haunting as his brazen acts. Even after the murders ceased, the letters continued intermittently, keeping the legend of the Zodiac alive. These communications ensured that the public and law enforcement could never truly forget him. Each new letter, even without a corresponding murder, reignited the fear and the desperate hope for a breakthrough. As the 1970s gave way to the 80s, then the 90s, the Zodiac case remained stubbornly cold. New technologies emerged, new investigative methods developed, but the killer remained elusive. For families of the victims, each passing year without answers compounded their grief, leaving a permanent scar on their lives. Over the years, numerous suspects emerged, but one name consistently stood out: Arthur Lee Allen. A former elementary school teacher, Allen was investigated extensively, and many felt he fit the profile. His proximity to certain crime scenes and peculiar behavior made him a compelling figure in the ongoing mystery. With the advent of DNA technology, hope soared for a breakthrough. However, the Zodiac case predates modern forensic science. Evidence collected in the 1960s often deteriorated or was not preserved to current standards. Attempts to extract usable DNA from letters and stamps have yielded inconclusive results, a profound source of frustration. The Zodiac killer's brazen actions and bold public taunts left an undeniable impact on criminal investigation methods. He forced law enforcement to adapt, to consider psychological warfare, and to improve interagency cooperation. His case became a blueprint for understanding the complex nature of serial killers who seek public attention. The mystery of the Zodiac killer has permeated popular culture, inspiring countless books, documentaries, and films. Clint Eastwood's 1971 film Dirty Harry was famously influenced by the case, and David Fincher's critically acclaimed 2007 film Zodiac brought renewed attention to the baffling details and the investigators' desperate hunt. In a stunning development over 50 years after it was sent, the 340-symbol cipher was finally solved in 2020 by an international team of codebreakers. The message, similar to the first, offered no identity, but another glimpse into the killer's disturbed psyche, boasting about his kills and taunting police for their inability to catch him. The enduring mystery continues to captivate a new generation of amateur sleuths and professional investigators. Online communities pore over every detail, re-examining evidence with fresh eyes, hoping to find the overlooked clue. The case file remains open, perpetually drawing in those determined to finally unmask the Zodiac. Even today, the case is not forgotten. In recent years, news emerged that the FBI is reviewing new suspect information, reminding us that no cold case is truly dead until solved. Each flicker of new evidence, each new theory, keeps the hope alive for those who seek justice for the Zodiac's victims. Despite extensive investigations, numerous suspects, and the passage of time, the Zodiac killer's identity remains unknown. He is an unidentified American serial killer, a ghost in the annals of crime. The inability to put a face to the name, to understand his true motives, adds to his terrifying mystique. The Zodiac killer engaged in a twisted game, not just with his victims, but with the public and police. He sought attention, reveling in the fear he created and the frustration he inflicted upon those trying to catch him. His cryptic messages and taunts were designed to prolong this game, making him more than just a killer, but a performance artist of terror. Behind the sensational headlines and coded messages are the victims, young people whose lives were brutally cut short. David Faraday, Betty Lou Jensen, Darlene Ferrin, Cecilia Shepard, Paul Stein. Their stories remain tragically unfinished, their families left to grapple with an enduring void and the chilling reality that their killer walked free. What is it about the Zodiac killer that continues to fascinate us? Perhaps it's the sheer audacity, the cryptic clues, or the unsettling notion that a killer could simply vanish. The allure of the unknown keeps us returning to this case, a morbid curiosity about the person behind the crosshairs symbol. The Zodiac killer case stands as a constant reminder of the limits of forensic science, the complexities of human evil, and the terrifying possibility that some monsters simply disappear into the shadows. It is a scar on the collective consciousness of America, a wound that refuses to heal until truth is finally revealed. In a macabre sense, the Zodiac killer achieved his ultimate victory: he was never caught. His identity remains shrouded in mystery, allowing his legend to grow unchecked. He transcended mere criminality, becoming a symbol of the darkness that can lurk unseen, unresolved, and utterly terrifying. The Zodiac killer is not merely a cold case, it is one of the coldest and most perplexing mysteries in American history. It continues to challenge, to frustrate, and to haunt, a testament to the killer's cunning and the enduring power of a truly terrifying unknown. The reasons for the Zodiac killer remaining unidentified are multifaceted: fragmented evidence, early investigative challenges, and a killer who meticulously controlled the narrative. He masterfully exploited the limitations of his era, turning every communication into a psychological weapon, ensuring his lasting enigma. The Zodiac killer's legacy is one of pure, unadulterated fear. He proved that terror could be wielded through anonymous letters, through cryptic symbols, and through the sheer act of disappearing without a trace. His story serves as a cautionary tale, a dark legend in the tapestry of American crime. To this day, the case file on the Zodiac killer remains open in multiple law enforcement agencies. It is a testament to the unresolved nature of the crimes and the unwavering hope that, one day, the final piece of this terrifying puzzle will fall into place, and justice, however belated, will be served. Will we ever truly know who the Zodiac killer was? Or will he forever remain America's most terrifying unsolved mystery, a chilling reminder that some enigmas are destined to remain just that, forever shrouded in the darkness they created?